Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Edward here, back with another video. And in this opportunity, I kind of want to talk about high probability ICT setups. What is that? Well, this is a very interesting subject. And for that, I'm actually going to explain a trade I took today with the team. Okay. And this is the actual VIP group. And this was the trade I took on Nasdaq. I decided to focus on Nasdaq today only, and this is what I got. This was actually on the 1 minute time frame, and the hour of this was pretty much the silver bullet hour. So I will break down this setup and the reason why I was actually bearish or looking for a bearish setup, even though it's gonna like the setup after this trade played out for sales, it gave a nice buy setup in this area, and I'm gonna explain something here so you guys can understand what is actually a high probability ICT setup, because I'm getting a lot of questions all the time and I see a lot of mistakes. Since I'm a mentor, I'm constantly getting questions from students. So, anyways, let's go ahead and straight to the point. So, starting right here on the daily time frame, just to understand, this is what I normally do. Um, um, Probably before I go to sleep. Okay, I normally trade New York session, right? So before I go to sleep, I like to see today is Wednesday, right? So this is the Wednesday candle. I'm actually gonna remove this candle. Okay, so I like to see how the previous day closed so I can have an idea what my bias is going to be for the next day, right? So uh, understanding the candles, right? Just by reading the candles, right here. If you see this candle on Tuesday, displays above previous high. Okay, just like the same as this one. This candle on Monday was strongly bullish, right? It displays above an old high. So if it closed above, that means that I'm expecting this highs to be taken and this low to be protected, right? So boom, next day, price actually pushes up, takes this high, this low gets respected. Now, on Tuesday, right? On Tuesday, how did Tuesday candle close? Above this previous high. So I'm expecting this high to be targeted and I'm expecting these lows to be respected, right? With that being said, of course, now I go in lower time frame, right? I go in lower time frame. I'm gonna mark up my daily low, gonna mark up my daily high. Okay, pay attention to this, guys. Please watch this entire video to understand. Okay, don't skip any part because it's very important. Every single part. Now, right here we have the daily low, daily high. All right, I'm marking it up from higher time frame. Okay, understand, right? I just marked up the low and the high of this daily candle, right? Now, I trade New York session only. I don't trade London. I don't trade Asian session. None of that. Okay. So look at what is happening right here. Right. This is still Tuesday. Now, waiting, of course. This in this case, I don't trade during these hours. This is Asian session. Let's see when London session. It's around 3 in the morning or so. Now look at what happens. As I mentioned, I don't trade London, right? So what happens? It turns out that my bias, I said it, right? My bias for this day on Wednesday was going to be bullish, right? But bullish during New York session, right? Now, what happens? This target, this was the daily target. That daily target, unfortunately, gets hit during London session. I don't trade London, right? So sadly, that is gone. For me, it's gone. So of course, I'm sleeping at this hour. This is 4 a.m. in the morning for me. Let me change the time. It's around 5, yeah, 5 a.m. in the morning for me. So I'm sleeping at that hour, right? So I just have to wait. And I normally start trading at, let's go to New York. Let's put it on back on New York so you guys can see. So at 8 a.m. in the morning, that's when New York session opens, right? Now, pay attention because I actually spotted a divergence. I spotted a divergence between S&P and Nasdaq. This high right here, as you can see right here, is this high, and this high is this high. So you see, market is providing a divergence. This is just an additional confluence. Okay, divergence. All right. Now, okay, no biggie. At this point, New York session is opening. I'm gonna mark up. Look at what's happening. Price has already swept. It's swept already buy side liquidity. Okay, that was kind of like I would have rather for price to stay. I hope it makes sense. I would have rather for price to stay in here until New York session. So I could be looking for a buy setup, right? So I could be targeting these daily highs. But because the daily highs were swept during London, now this is sort of changing my bias now. I could actually be looking for sales. Why? One, I have a divergence between Nasdaq and S&P. Two, price just swept a daily high. So what does that mean? We could probably be selling now. Price could actually be displacing to the downside. So, probably going for sell side liquidity. So I'm marking up these lows just to have an idea, okay, that I could be looking for sales and this could be one of my targets, you know? So look, I'm going to show you here. I started sending the setups to the VIP somewhere right here, NASDAQ. So this was on a 15-minute. So I was kind of marking already this low, and that very old low from the day before, right? So understanding, I'm on the 5-minute time frame, and New York session just opened. So I want to sell. I want to actually look for sale. Why? Because I'm having a divergence on the top, and I have a daily sweep. Okay, the this daily high has just been swept, so I kind of want to look for a reversal. I wanted the price to go down. Okay, that was my bias now for the day, sort of. Right now, pay attention what happened. Price, as we keep going into New York session, price keeps going down and down and down, almost getting to this point. But look at what happens. Of course, New York Stock Exchange is not open yet. New York Stock Exchange opens at 9:30, so it's somewhere here. Look at what's happening. We're starting to have displacement to the upside. Like price is starting to reject this area, so it's leaving this nice double bottom. When price starts leaving me this double bottom right here, oh, I am seeing gold. I am seeing gold right there. Right? You see, price actually pushes up and we're leaving this equal lows right there. So I'm more bearish. I'm starting to be more bearish after I see that. So I'm going in one and lower time frame. I'm going to the 1 minute, and I'm paying attention to this trend right here. Okay, we have different points. Like this could be a buy side. I have another buy side right here. I have a lot of points actually. This side as well. I have actually quite a few highs right there in this whole downtrend on the 1 minute. I'm waiting for New York Stock Exchange to open to show me, okay, what I can do. What I do know now is that I like this low because that's the equal lows right there, and I kind of want to target that. So I want to wait for some buy side liquidity being taken. I don't care. It could be this one, could be this one, could be this one. It could be even this one at the top. Any of those. I don't know which of those two is going to be swept. The price could definitely do something like this. Just sweep displacement to the downside, and I can definitely catch that sell. Okay. That's all I need. Okay. That could be very possible. Right. So I'm waiting. Look at what happens. New York Stock Exchange opens. Boom. Goes through directly all these two right here. Now, still waiting. This is still valid. I could still actually have a change of character right here or market structure shift, right? This low, right? But I have to wait. I cannot be selling right away. This thing is skyrocketing right now. So, hey, it could even still continue pushing up, right? So I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. I see it's getting closer to this buy side. Let's see what's going to happen next. Okay. I see price actually going through. I can clean out this line and this line. I don't care, right? Now, price sweeping the top, right? And I'm sending, as this thing is going, I'm sending the setups, the analysis to the team live as we go, okay? So look at this. Right here in this area, I have to wait. I need to see more structure. So I'm waiting. Price sort of is started to go to the downside right here, but I still have no gap, no imbalance, no nothing, right? So I'm waiting. This market structure shift transferred to this zone. That's good. You see, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for more structure to be formed. Now I can see a clear structure, right? If I want to go selling, what do I want to see? Well, I want to see this low being swept and then pulling back up to a fair value gap so I can catch the sell, right? That's what I want to see. So I'm waiting, waiting. See, kind of looking like price is trying to sweep. Looks like it swept that high. Yep, just barely. Right. So we have another buy side. And I like this little impulse right here, right? Little impulse. Now I really want to see a displacement to the downside. Now look at what happens. From there, price displaces, fails to close below. That's fine because I'm still having my change in state of delivery right here. So that's a confluence. Now look at the next candle. Next candle, leaving a fair value gap right here. Right, I was already in with this candle. I was already in. I was placing already my short position somewhere around this area, my stop loss here, and I was targeting this lows, especially this one. I was more than happy with that one, right? So look at this. From there, and I'm gonna send you again, right? I'm sending the pictures as price is going. Look at right here, price actually touching the fair value gap, just waiting, right? And then I got in. So I entered manually when the price was actually uh, in the move, when it was actually pulling back, entering in this area below that fair value gap, just barely below that fair value gap. Now, look, if I would have placed anyways a sell limit order, you're gonna place it right here, right, in that fair value gap or at the 50% of the fair value gap. Any of those two would work anyways. So look at what happens from there. You see price actually pushes up and then start displacing. This move right here to the downside, you could have easily placed another entry right here in this fair value gap. Look at what price does. Price pushes up, touches the 50% of the fair value gap, and then boom, ends up displacing and coming all the way down here. Okay, so basically this is the trade, taking partial profits and the final TP. So now look at what happens because this is the idea. This is what I mean by what is the high probability? What makes an ICT setup a high probability trade? High probability would have to be right here, for example, in this area. It's important, guys, that whenever you have a setup like this, whenever you have a setup like this, you cannot just enter on this one or be looking for a potential entry just right here. Why? I mean, just why not? I mean, you're getting buy side liquidity, right? I get it. We're getting buy side liquidity right here. You have market structure shift, right? Why can I not get into this trade? Well, or what makes it more high probability? This actual setup. What makes it better? Well, you have to look a little bit on the left, and the price has to be sweeping also, not just this little high, but an external high, some other type of liquidity. Okay, an old high. It could be an old high from the day before or just a few hours. It could be just a few minutes as well, not necessarily, but like let's say price actually did this stop right there and then went all the way down here, something like this. And this is where it is at the moment. So you see, price is actually sweeping this this old high and also this high. This makes this trade, this setup, a high probability setup, right? It makes it high probabilities. Pay attention to this because this actual setup right here doesn't show that much, but pay attention to this. If I go here in this area, you might actually tell me, let's say I'm sticking to here. Forget about this line at the moment. Stay in this area. Watch. You're actually in this area. I get this question a lot of times right here. So okay, we have this low, right here, sell side liquidity. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, price sweeping, sell side liquidity. You see it's clean, at least it's clear to understand that market structure shift would happen somewhere here, right? Uh-huh. Okay, let's see what happens. Look at that. You're starting to have displacement. I like it. Big explosion to the upside. Boom. This is beautiful. Just right here. This is gorgeous, right? This is what I mean by, like, you have a setup like this. You have sweep, displacement, fair value gap, impulse, right? Right? This is what we're getting here. We're getting an move, um, a pullback, impulse, displacement, right? You have this, right, to the upside. You have sell side liquidity being taken and market structure shift. You have a fair value gap right here, right? Let's look for the PD arrays, right? So you have a nice imbalance in this area. I see a lot of traders, a lot of ICT traders trying to look for a buy right here. A lot. Beginners, right? They're trying to look for that buy because that's a cool setup. It is actually cool. It is looking like a good setup, right? But look at what happens. Price pulls back, touches, go, and you're like, oh my god, ICT setups, these entry models, this is some bullshit, right? And why is this happening? You guys don't understand. This was not a high probability setup. Why not? Look left, right? What I just marked up on higher time frame. We had equal lows. We had very important liquidity right here that needed to be swept, and you didn't see that. If you just waited a little bit more, right? What I'm trying to say here is, guys, don't take every setup that you see in the middle of nowhere. Oh, okay, some might say, oh, but Eduardo, I actually see, this low as well. This was actually swept, and that was not too far ago, but that's some sort of liquidity. Yes, it is, right? But you're missing the big picture. This low is not this equal low right here, this double bottom, right? So price needed to drop and sweep the most important liquidity, which is with the next couple candles, we're getting that sweep. You see, price actually end up sweeping that low. You see what I mean? So this is a low probability setup. Now, oh, okay. Now, how do I enter in this case in here? Well, look at this. You have sell side liquidity now. Price is sweeping an important double bottom, right? Now you have here market structure shift. You have a potential market structure shift there. If you want to look for a buy, well, you better wait for that high to be broken, then fair value gap, so you can go with the buy, right? Right. So let's see what happens from there. You see price actually trying to push, and it does break. Look, market actually breaks. You do have market structure shift now. What else do we have? Well, we do have a fair value gap. We do have an order block right here, or change the state of delivery. I mean, it wasn't the same thing, but it was actually the same thing. But now you have that. So at this point, you can totally just go ahead, boom, stop here, take profit. You can actually use the fib. From the low to the high of the manipulation, you could be actually targeting anywhere in this area between 2 and 2.5. Anywhere right here, you could be targeting. What happens there? Look at that. Price just taps in, and it goes directly to your target. You see, it just taps in, fair value gap. Now you understand what and where this happens. You know what? This setup that we spotted first, this was a low probability, and this one right here, it's a high probability. Why? This, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you're missing. This is the thing that you're actually missing. So make sure to pay attention to this, because this is what's probably messing up with you. So I hope it makes sense. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below if you like this type of content. I'll be posting more coming soon. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.